Hi, everybody. I just wanted to give you a little introduction to Illustrator. This is specifically for people who have never used an Adobe program, never opened Illustrator in your life, and maybe not feeling super confident about it. These are very intense programs, and I'll explain a few reasons why this might have a steep learning curve initially. Reason number one is that these programs have so many buttons. You can see it here on my screen. We've got all these buttons here and all these things here and all these things here, and they all do different things, and most of them open to more menus. Anyway, it's a lot. Some of these, if you hold down, it'll give you more options to pick from. So we're talking about a lot of possibilities for clicking on the wrong thing or losing something you need. The other thing is, because there are so many buttons, the size of your screen matters. If you're working on a big computer, like a desktop, with a huge screen, then you'll be able to see some options that you have to click into when your screen is smaller. And actually, this is something that I still, like, sometimes I'm looking around and realizing, wow, my workspace doesn't have something I expect it to have. I just got this new laptop. I'm used to working on a desktop with a huge screen. So for instance, I'm used to clicking on an object and having the width and height in inches appear on the top of my screen, and it wasn't there, and I could not figure out how to find that information. I had to click this transform button to see now it's in points, which, that's another thing. So the way that your system is set up, the size of your screen, different preferences can be default for different people. So things get complicated and it's easy to get lost. I want you to know this because it's very frustrating if you see the tutorial and you see the option you're supposed to click and you cannot find it anywhere. It can be really rough. So I'd encourage you, when you're going through these worksheets, start early, first of all, and then if you get hung up on something, either send me an email with pictures or video or whatever to explain what you can't find, or set up an appointment with a tutor, because the tutors can just, tell you exactly what you need to do. Just take some of the stress and the time out of these assignments that can end up bloating into huge issues for you. Okay, so don't feel like you're crazy if the tutorial is saying click here and you're not seeing that button anywhere. It can happen, and you might just need some extra help. Okay, the next thing is that the system is a little different for a Windows versus a Mac program. The tutorial videos are pretty good about telling you what to push, which button to push, and saying both, like this could be this on a Windows or this on a Mac. But here's a little cheat sheet on my screen in case you run into that and you're not sure what to do. On a Macintosh, the key is Option. On Windows, it's Alt. So if they're saying click Option and you can't find Option, it's because you need Alt. And Command is Control on a Windows. Those are the main ones. There are a couple of little differences in the setup of the actual system on this top bar. I can't go through everything. But once again, if you're stuck and you don't know what to do, just send me an email, send me pictures. Pictures are helpful because, what I see is not necessarily what you see. And if you'd send me kind of a vague email, then I'm just like, I don't know. All right. So differences abound in these programs. The other thing that can cause trouble when you're first starting out is shortcuts. Now, these are super handy if you use the programs a lot, but they can be rough if you've never used the programs before. For instance, and I have to kind of push. Oh yeah, there it is. If you just randomly on accident hit tab, everything disappears, and you're like, oh no, where are all my tools? They're gone. That's tab. Clicking tab will send your tools away and will bring them back. It sends you into a full screen mode, and nothing will take you out of that full screen mode except hitting tab again. So there you go. That happens to you. Calm. Don't worry, can be fixed. A good shortcut for you to remember is Apple Z. So let's say you accidentally delete something and you're like, oh no, that's not what I meant. If you on a Mac, it's Apple or Command Z. On a PC, it's Control Z, and you push them at the same time. So hold Control down and then push Z, and you will see your basically whatever action you did last will be removed. So you'll just keep going back, kind of like back in history to what you had before.